Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Battle Through the Heavens Part 225 based on novel. So let's start. The Xiao clan was one of the 8 ancient clans. Although the Xiao clan was not as well known as the Jiu clan or the Han clan, it was still one of the 8 ancient clans and not an ordinary existence. The Xiao clan usually kept a low profile and rarely would news related to them spread, but keeping a low profile did not mean that they were weak. This Xiao clan was relatively strong when gauged by their fighting strength. The Xiao clan was a lot stronger than the Ling clan, which was the first to disappear. There were many powerful individuals within the clan who possessed an extremely powerful foundation. However, a super faction that possessed such a great foundation had once again mysteriously vanished overnight. Just thinking about the clan's disappearance was sufficient to cause one to feel a chill within one's heart. The Xiao clan had disappeared the same way the Ling clan had. Their realms had both been shut before they disappeared. Once the realms reopened, millions of clan members and descendant citizens could not be found. Not one of them remained. Clusters of experts from various factions felt a chill rise from their feet to their hearts. These experts had entered the realm of the Xiao clan and found the realm completely quiet and lifeless. Just what kind of terrifying existence could eliminate millions of individuals? Some of these millions of individuals included those top experts from the Xiao clan. All of those experts were existences within the central plains that could shake the world with the stomp of a foot. Despite such existences, the Xiao clan was still completely removed from this world. The information regarding the disappearance of the Xiao clan appeared like a hurricane as it swept across the central plains. Every faction was startled by this shocking information. Some of those with sharp senses could vaguely tell that something was not quite right. All of these ancient factions were incomparably strong and their inheritance had lasted for thousands of years, yet 2 clans had completely vanished within a short 10 years. If such a matter had only occurred once, it could be written off as a fluke. If it occurred twice, it would really be strange. Moreover, the way both clans had disappeared was exactly the same. This gave one the idea that the perpetrator, who made the Ling and Xiao clans vanish, should be the same person or rather the same faction. However, a situation that caused one to feel troubled followed. Everyone knew that there were only 2 factions across the entire continent that could quietly eliminate the ancient Ling clan and the ancient Xiao clan. Those 2 factions were the Han clan and the Jiu clan. In an instant, many guesses and doubts were thrown toward these 2 factions. The Han clan did not respond to these guesses, which matched their usual style. However, the Jiu clan felt a headache forming as doubts were cast their way. Their relationship with the other ancient clans had been quite good, but the relationships between them had become a little awkward after the Ling and Xiao clans had disappeared. The other few clans were clearly beginning to feel some doubt and fear for the Jiu clan. Even some of their regular interactions had been halted. The Jiu clan clearly felt a headache because of this troubling news that had appeared out of the blue, but the events this time caused them to be cautious. These developments were clearly not beneficial to the Jiu clan. The faction who had struck had likely involved the Jiu clan in their scheme on purpose. However, the Jiu clan upper echelons felt some doubt and uncertainty because they couldn't figure out how it was possible for the Han clan to possess such a frightening strength if they were really the perpetrator. They had managed to avoid the probing of many of the Jiu clan's experts and eliminated the Ling and Xiao clans without anyone else noticing either. Alternatively, could there be another terrifying existence that they did not know about within the central plains? Regardless of the Jiu clan's guesses, they did not possess any evidence to prove their innocence to the other 3 clans. Hence, they could only remain quiet in the face of this suspicion. As the Jiu clan and Han clan remained silent, the remaining 3 clans of the 8 ancient clans, which were the Yao clan, Lai clan, and Yang clan, suddenly announced an alliance 1 month after the Xiao clan had vanished. They called themselves the 3-Clan Alliance. The establishment of the 3-Clan Alliance had an extremely great impact on other factions. This was the first time an alliance had been formed by the 3 ancient clans since ancient times. After all, these clans were very competitive and had experienced many conflicts. It was easier said than done to abandon everything and form an alliance, but this time around, the 3 clans felt a great unease because an unknown danger. They did not wish to become the next Ling clan or Shi clan, but this mysterious murderer had been able to quietly eliminate the Ling clan and the Shi clan, so it was probably not going to be an overly difficult matter for that perpetrator to eliminate one of them. In order to protect their clan's bloodline, they had no other choice but to form an alliance at this moment. The other factions on the Central Plains slightly relaxed when the three-clan alliance did not launch an army into the Central Plains after announcing their alliance. Instead, they spent plenty of resources to build a tunnel between their realms. Thus, if one party was attacked, the other two would be able to swiftly provide support through the spatial tunnel. After the spatial tunnels between the three clans were formed, the three clans appeared impregnable. At this moment, these clans finally began to gradually relax. After which, they also started to dispatch some experts. These experts continuously entered and exited the Shi clan's realm in an attempt to find some evidence to point to a culprit. The Central Plains was always extremely interesting, so nothing could remain in the spotlight for long. Even shocking events like the disappearance of the Shi clan and the formation of an alliance by the three clans had gradually left the spotlight around half a year later. Moreover, that mysterious perpetrator had seemed to have disappeared without a trace. It caused one to feel an uneasiness while sighing in relief. After being shocked for a period of time, the Sky Mansion Alliance also regained its calm. It continued to engage in an endless struggle with the Hall of Souls. At this moment, the two big factions were completely at odds. Today, one would attack the other's city. Tomorrow, the other would destroy one's branch hall. They exchanged a tit for a tat as they engaged in endless battles. However, long-term fight had begun to benefit the Sky Mansion Alliance. They were using this war to gain more strength. Not only had this war allowed the fighting strength of the alliance to become more powerful and unified, it had also attracted an increasing number of small factions, who had been pressured by the Han clan, to join them. Hence, during this 1.5 years of war, the size of the Sky Mansion Alliance had expanded many times over when compared to before the war. The number of experts within the alliance did not lose to the Hall of Souls. Gaining strength through war had allowed the alliance to grow even stronger. However, there was a matter that caused Yao Lao's group fill with worry and anxiousness even as their strength soared. The source of these feelings was naturally Xiao Yang. It had been 1.5 years since the demonic flame realm had shut back then, but they still hadn't obtained the slightest news related to Xiao Yang. This lack of news had caused many people's heart to become a little anxious. The Sky Mansion Alliance's chief might be Yao Lao, but in the hearts of many people, that skinny and strong back was their mental support. They thought that as long as that skinny back was supporting them, the Sky Mansion Alliance would never fall. Regardless of how anxious they felt, reality was cruel. There had been no activity from that place even now. Time would not pause because of anyone. Hence, after the demonic flame was sealed for 2 whole years, the strands of hope in the hearts of many began to gradually dim. Yao Lao's group could do nothing to stem such a situation. They could only halt some offensive battles and turn to defense. While the Sky Mansion Alliance changed its fighting method, the demonic flame realm had finally revealed some life after being quiet for 2 years. The demonic flame realm was still as hot as ever as an enormous crystal egg floated in the sky above the magma sea region. The surface of the crystal egg was sparkling. Occasionally, there was a faint fire seedling leaping up and down, appearing just like a fairy that was filled with spirituality. Crack! A faint sound was suddenly emitted from the silence. If one's eyes glanced over, one would see that the surface of the crystal egg had slowly started to crack. After this first crack appeared, an increasing number of cracks began to gradually climb across the crystal egg. In the end, a large crystal shell fell from the top. Bang! A pink and golden light suddenly rose into the sky after the crystal egg crack. Finally, this light turned into a curtain that scattered down from the distant sky. An arm was suddenly extended from the light pillar as a figure violently stretched its lazy waist. The bones all over its body emitted a thunder-like sound that echoed around the sky. I have finally exited my retreat, a naked figure stepped out of the light pillar. Who else could the face of the figure belong to other than Xiao Yang? However, his black hair scattered over his shoulders, giving him a free and handsome appearance. If one were to carefully observe his eyes, one would discover that they had turned into two extremely tiny fire lotuses. The lotuses rotated and a mysterious suction force was vaguely emitted from them, as though one soul could be dragged into them. "Ah, Xiao Yang Ge, why are you not wearing any clothes?" A clear voice that sounded like a flowing spring in a valley while accompanied by an embarrassment appeared behind Xiao Yang soon after he had stepped out of the light pillar. Xiao Yang turned around and looked at the beautiful figure whose long black hair scattered over her delicate waist like a waterfall. Perhaps it was because she had been in a slumber while training, but the current Zun'er's exquisite, peach-like face lacked a tenderness. Instead, it had gained the hint of a soul-stirring enchantment. Adding the faint embarrassment on her face, all it took was one glance and Xiao Yang was captivated. "My wife is indeed beautiful." The naked man stepped through the empty air and scratched his head before he smiled and complimented the embarrassed lady in front of him. "This retreat has probably exhausted a great amount of time." Xiao Yan lifted his head and looked all across the sky that was permeated with fire. Although this environment appeared the same as when he had undertaken his retreat, he was still able to sense a difference. "I?" Zun'er by the side gently nodded. The purifying demonic lotus flame was not an ordinary thing. If they did not have time, even the two of them together would not have been able to refine it. "Xiao Yang Ge is likely quite powerful now, no?" Zun'er rolled her eyes as she wondered out loud with a smile. "It will not be difficult to defeat the chief of the Hall of Souls the next time I meet him," Xiao Yang slightly smiled. His voice relayed an extreme confidence. The benefits he had obtained from refining the purifying demonic lotus flame were incomparable. Based on his senses, his strength should have reached the initial level of the 5th star of the Doshan class. This was a leap of 3 stars when compared to his intermediate 2-star Doshan strength before he had taken the retreat. This great leap in strength caused even Xiao Yang to feel some disbelief earlier. Being an elite Doshan, he was clearly aware of just how difficult it was to raise one's level within the Doshan class. This increase of 3 stars would have required decades of training under normal circumstances. This time around, he had used the purifying demonic lotus flame to advance his strength. Around the entire world, the only spiritual object with the unbelievable ability to allow an elite Doshan's strength to soar by 3 stars was likely just this 3rd-ranked heavenly flame. It is said that when a person reaches the top, all those around him will also ascend with him. This time around, thanks to Xiao Yang Ge, my strength has also ended up increasing a bunch, Zun'er softly laughed. During the refining process of the purifying demonic lotus flame, bits of the vast and mighty energy had also entered her body. Hence, she had also benefited. Although she had yet to break through to the 5th star of the Doshan class, she had soared to the advanced level of the 4th star of the Doshan class. It must be said that the gains that the both of them had attained during this retreat would cause others to be extremely envious. Xiao Yang was naturally happy that Zun'er's strength had soared. Although his strength might have ended up increasing more if he had absorbed the purifying demonic lotus flame alone, he knew he would have died from the backlash of the demonic flame had it not been for Zun'er's aid. How could he still be in his current state? I wonder what the current heavenly flame in my body. Xiao Yang's mind quickly returned to the most important matter. A thought immediately passed through his mind, but he was stunned to find that the heavenly flame, which had originally filled his body, had completely disappeared. This unexpected change caused Xiao Yang's expression to drop. The heavenly flame was something he relied on to survive. The disappearance of his heavenly flames would be a big blow to him. "Xiao Yang Ge, what is it?" Zun'er by the side hurriedly asked after seeing the change in Xiao Yang's expression. Xiao Yang did not have the time to respond to her voice. He calmed down and carefully checked the interior of his body. Only after a long while did he suddenly detect something vaguely present deep within his body. "Come out!" Xiao Yang suddenly clenched his hand after sensing this thing. He let out a low cry and a pink-colored flame suddenly erupted from his palm. There seemed to be a faint golden light flowing around the edges of the flame like a metallic object. The appearance of this cluster of pink flames caused the surrounding air to distort. Then, the cluster suddenly began to wiggle. It subsequently transformed into a half-foot-tall baby in front of Xiao Yang's and Zun'er's stunned eyes. "Yewa." The tiny fire baby's large eyes contained a pink flame, and they landed on Xiao Yang the moment the baby appeared. After which, it extended its flabby little hand and grabbed Xiao Yang's arm. The baby continuously rubbed Xiao Yang, appearing exceptionally affectionate. Xiao Yang and Zana were completely stunned as they stared at the fire baby, which was not very large. It was only a little bigger than an arm. At a glance, it was like a flabby little round ball. A braid was present on its little head while a small little cloth wrapped around the front of its body, leaving its buttocks visible. There was a pink lotus fire seal imprinted on its little head. At a glance, it appeared extremely cute. At the very least, there was a glitter flashing in Zana's pretty eyes. It appeared as though she was being flooded with maternal love. Yewa. The fire baby grabbed Xiao Yang's hand and swung it while Xiao Yang and Zana were stunned by this unexpected situation. A tender and strange sound was emitted from the baby's mouth. What is happening? Xiao Yang finally recovered at this moment. He looked at the fire baby, who refused to release his arm, and asked in a lost voice. Zana merely shook her head when she heard his clueless question. She hesitated for a moment before saying, "Could it be that this is the new flame in your body after merging so many heavenly flames?" If the purifying demonic lotus flame was added, Xiao Yang possessed a total of 6 types of heavenly flames within his body. No one could be certain just what kind of change would occur when 6 types of heavenly flames were merged together. After all, no one in this world had tried merging 6 types of heavenly flames as an experiment. Xiao Yang fell deep into thought upon hearing her answer. His eyes returned to the flabby fire baby on his arm as he involuntarily pinched it. The baby's soft and smooth skin caused Xiao Yang to realize that this fire baby felt like an actual baby. The feeling of the fire baby's skin was exactly the same as a human. Moreover, he sensed that he seemed to possess a strange connection with this little thing whenever he touched it. That familiar feeling was exactly the same as when he had controlled the heavenly flame within his body in the past. This thing is really the heavenly flame within my body, Xiao Yang nodded with a solemn expression at this moment. He was certain that this fire baby was the new heavenly flame formed after merging the purifying demonic lotus flame, but even he was at a loss as to why such a change would occur. I sense a familiar feeling from this little thing. It seems similar to my Gold Emperor incinerating heavenly flame, Zana softly commented at this moment. Your Gold Emperor incinerating heavenly flame joined the refinement of the purifying demonic lotus flame. Thus, some of the essence of the Gold Emperor incinerating heavenly flame has merged into my body, Xiao Yang explained. His eyes continued to remain on the fire baby on his arm. The baby had a braid on his head. The 5 types of heavenly flames within his body had completely merged with the purifying demonic lotus flame. Of course, if one wanted to be more exact, one should say that his 5 heavenly flames had merged into the purifying demonic lotus flame. Although the 5 types of heavenly flames were larger in number, this number did not pose any resistance to the purifying demonic lotus flame, so they were completely merged into the purifying demonic lotus flame. If Xiao Yang had not already activated the flame mantra and refined the demonic flame, he would likely have tasted a far worse ending while trying to gain something. Ha ha, Xiao Yang ge, I once heard father said that only an extremely few heavenly flames are able to take shape after being refined by a person. If I have guessed correctly, this should be the newly formed heavenly flame fire spirit within your body, Zana smiled as she spoke. From the looks of it, this did not appear to be something bad. Xiao Yang slightly nodded. He seemed to have recalled something and the corner of his mouth twitched. He asked, in that case, how will I unleash the angry Buddha lotus flame when fighting with others in the future? He had examined his body earlier and the heavenly flame that had come wherever he called it had completely vanished. What would he use to agglomerate a fire lotus to fight with others? Yewa. The big eyes of the little thing that was hugging his hand and dripping saliva brightened upon hearing Xiao Yang's words. He lifted his little hand and a fire gathered on his palm. A fire lotus was quickly formed. Angry Buddha lotus flame. Xiao Yang's eyes were about to pop out of his head seeing this fire lotus form. The angry Buddha lotus flame was a skill that he had created. Other than him, no one else was able to unleash it, Yet this little thing was randomly able to create it, and at a speed that even its creator, Xiao Yang, could not match. This little thing has even secretly learned your do skill. Zana covered her mouth and softly laughed. Yewa. Pride surfaced on the little thing's small tender face after having sensed Xiao Yang's shock. Two small hands were clenched and then released before many two-colored angry Buddha lotus flames formed above his palm. After which, they floated around him and continued to rotate. 10 angry Buddha lotus flames. Xiao Yang inhaled a deep breath of air after seeing these lotuses. Even he had never successfully created 10 angry Buddha lotus flames together. Although these fire lotuses were only created from 2 types of heavenly flames, the strength of such a number of them would be incredible. Ewa. However, Xiao Yang's shock did not end. After forming the 10 angry Buddha lotus flames, the little thing beckoned with his hand, and the 10 fire lotus suddenly clashed together before swiftly merging. Within a short instant, a fire lotus that caused both Xiao Yang's and Zana's expressions to change rose from the clash. Xiao Yang's heart felt as though it had violently been grabbed as he stared at the half-foot-wide pink fire lotus, which appeared delicate and beautiful. Even his breathing had become a little difficult. Extermination. Fire lotus. Xiao Yang inhaled a breath of air as he softly muttered. The fire lotus created by the fire baby was his strongest trump card, the extermination fire lotus, but the strength of this fire lotus was many times more terrifying than any type of fire lotus Xiao Yang had ever created in the past. This time around, I have really picked up a treasure. A fire baby that could unleash the extermination lotus flame. Xiao Yang naturally understood what this meant within his heart. He would no longer need someone to help delay his opponent during a fight in the future. As long as he thought about it, this little thing would be able to create the fire lotus extremely quick. This fire baby will become Xiao Yang's biggest aid. Xiao Yang and Zana exchanged glances. They could see some joy in the other party's eyes. Clearly, the evolution of the heavenly flame had exceeded their expectations. Yewa. The little thing played with the extermination fire lotus that was floating around his body. After which, the baby widened his mouth and swallowed the fire lotus before once again extending his flabby little hand to hug Xiao Yang's arm. He began to rub it again. By relying on the strange feeling he felt, he appeared just like a small pet which viewed Xiao Yang as its closest kin. Xiao Yang smiled as he observed this fire baby. His hand gently rubbed the baby's small head. The baby narrowed his eyes in comfort and continued to cry out joyously. Xiao Yang softly laughed upon witnessing this reaction. Although the heavenly flame had morphed into this mysterious form, it was fortunate that Xiao Yang was still able to control it. This little thing would immediately carry out his order as long as he gave it a thought. From a certain point of view, there was merely an additional intermediary between Xiao Yang and the heavenly flame. Moreover, this mediator was able to unleash the full might of Xiao Yang's heavenly flame. This thing seems to possess an intelligence. There will be a lot of room for development in the future. Perhaps we should give him a name. Zana smiled and revealed her thoughts. Yewa. The fire baby rubbing Xiao Yang's arm quickly lifted its head, appearing as though it understood Zana's words. Those large eyes contained some anticipation as they stared at Xiao Yang while his mouth emitted a tender Yewa sound. Name, since it likes to cry out Yewa, I'll call it Little Yi. Xiao Yang spread his hands and randomly gave the baby a name. Yewa. The fire baby immediately became dejected once he heard the name Xiao Yang randomly choose. His mouth cried out Yewa in protest, but Xiao Yang merely laughed when he heard this objection before saying, Little Yi, quickly go back. We are about to leave this place. Little Yi could only dejectedly lay against Xiao Yang's hand after hearing that this matter had been settled by Xiao Yang. After which, his body turned into a cluster of pink flames that returned to Xiao Yang's body. You even body a little child. Zana helplessly shook her head and chided. Ha ha, Xiao Yang laughed. He lifted his head to look at this realm, which was filled with flames. He said, it is time to leave. I? Zana slightly nodded. Their training had spent quite a bit of time. The clan was probably about to turn upside down. Zun'er. Xiao Yang suddenly lowered his head. His eyes were extremely gentle as they caressed the beauty in front of him. Zun'er's face immediately became flushed beneath his boiling hot eyes. She lowered her head and softly asked, "What is it?" "I will find a time to head to the Gu clan to propose marriage once we return. We will hold a big wedding after I rescue my father. What do you say?" Zun'er's delicate figure trembled. Her exquisite face revealed her embarrassment, but her eyes were filled with excitement and happiness. She had waited many years for this day and this sentence. Fortunately, her heart was still leaping like a little deer from how excited and anxious she was after hearing it now. "Yes." Xiao Yang involuntarily laughed out loud as he looked at the beautiful figure nodding her head with a flushed face. With his current strength, he could head anywhere he wanted in the world. He need not even fear an ancient clan with a long inheritance like the Gu clan because that trash from the Xiao clan had become a peak existence of this world. "Let's go." Xiao Yang extended his hand and wrapped around Zun'er's soft, delicate, seemingly boneless waist, pulling her into his embrace. His other hand ripped through the space in front of him as a pink flame surfaced on his finger. He pointed his finger and this space, which had caused many five-star Dosheng to feel helpless, was forcefully split, forming an enormous crack line. Xiao Yang hugged Zun'er closer and stepped into it without hesitating. His body swayed and he disappeared along with that spatial crack. This demonic flame realm finally became completely silent after Xiao Yang and Zun'er left. This realm would also never appear again in the future. It would gradually be forgotten in the long river of time. The demonic flame plains was a lush green mountain range 2 years ago, but it had turned into white plains 2 years ago. Many 10,000-foot-long cracks spread across the plains like enormous centipedes. Waves of great heat rose from the depths of these cracks, resulting in this region appearing unusually dry. These plains had been created after the purifying demonic lotus flame had descended 2 years ago. The many mountains in this region had turned into nothing in an instant while the land had transformed into lava. However, when the demonic flame realm subsequently closed, the lava in this region had gradually solidified. Finally, the land turned into the plains that could be seen today. Based on common sense, the land where the demonic flame had raged would remain extremely desolated, but a group of adventuring mercenaries had discovered a mysterious crystal that was filled with wild and violent fire affinity energy in these plains, causing this land to become extremely lively. The individual crystals that were filled with a wild and violent fire affinity energy were called demonic flame rock because these crystals seemed to possess an extremely faint trace of remains from the demonic flame. Although this lingering demonic flame had been diluted thousands of times over, it was still an absolute treasure for those who practiced fire affinity doqi and alchemists. As long as one was able to absorb the energy within these demonic flame rock, one's doqi would not only become stronger, even the flame that an alchemist summoned would also grow more powerful than before. Hence, these plains had attracted many factions who had established territories and began to mine the demonic flame rocks 2 years ago. The Sky Mansion Alliance was naturally one of these factions. Moreover, the area they occupied was the spot within the plains packed with the richest veins of demonic flame rocks. With the strength of the current alliance, no one would dare to do anything foolish even if they felt jealous. Any place the Sky Mansion Alliance went meant that the Hall of Souls was close by. This had basically become common sense known by everyone within the Central Plains. The two big factions had fought an unusually heated war during these 2 years. A fight would definitely break out when both parties met. Hence, soon after the alliance had spread to the demonic flame plains, the Hall of Souls had established a branch hall there as well. Some of those factions who were greedy for the demonic flame rocks but did not dare to oppose the Sky Mansion Alliance alone quietly joined the Hall of Souls. During this past year, the Hall of Souls had exchanged blows with the Alliance's troops stationed in this land time and time again. Although both parties had suffered losses and injuries, the demonic flame rocks that they had obtained also allowed them to taste the reason they stayed. Hence, the Hall of Souls and the Sky Mansion Alliance skirmished within the demonic flame plains every 3 days and fought a larger battle every 5 days, causing this region to appear extremely lively. Two heavy swords surrounded by powerful do chi violently clashed against each other, forcing Parks to shoot away. One of the swords clearly appeared weaker than the other. The sword owner's body was forced back dozens of steps. His face paled and a mouthful of blood was spat out, but he did not bother about his injuries. His eyes swiftly swept around him and his eyes became bright red after seeing the seriously injured brothers. "Commander Liu, hand over the demonic flame rocks. We have been monitoring you for over half a month." That human figure, who had wounded the other man with his sword, stepped through the empty air and strangely laughed. He was wearing black robes. From the looks of the badge on his chest, it seemed like this person was someone from the Hall of Souls. "Commander, you should hurry and leave. Those demonic flame rocks are resources that our Xian unit dug up while risking our lives for a month in order to obtain. They must not land in the hands of these people from the Hall of Souls." A blood-covered man some distance away roared out. However, his roar had only just sounded when a long sword penetrated him from behind, preventing him from uttering those last few words. "A group of fools from the Sky Mansion Alliance dares to mine for the demonic flame rocks in the territory of my Hall of Souls. You are seeking death." A dark, cold laugh was emitted from around them. The rushing sound of wind appeared and many black figures materialized in the sky above, surrounding those dozens of blood-covered individuals. The man called Commander Liu revealed a completely pale face upon seeing these figures. "The Sky Mansion Alliance does not possess any cowards. Commander, we will cover your escape. As long as you turn over these demonic flame rocks to the superiors, we will be able to become Inner Alliance disciples." Those dozens of human figures surrounding Commander Liu roared in low voices. They appeared just like ferocious wolves that had been forced into a corner as they prepared for an all-out fight. Hearing this, the hand holding Commander Liu's weapon trembled. He touched a bag near his chest. There were 10 storage rings there, each filled with demonic flame rocks. This was what their section had obtained after searching for months and risking their lives. If they were able to successfully bring them back to the Alliance, everyone in their section would be raised to an Inner Alliance disciple. At that time, their positions would be completely different. However, their current state had caused everyone's excited moods to turn icy cold. They would definitely have to pay an extremely terrible price if they wished to break free of this encirclement with their strength. "Brothers, we have all survived many battles all the way here. There are good days waiting for us after this. Therefore, pick up your weapons and charge with me." Commander Liu swung his heavy sword and cried out with a ferocious voice. After which, he took the lead to charge forward. "Charge!" Those dozens of individuals began to pant heavily after hearing this command. After which, their eyes reddened as they charged toward the encirclement. "Kill all of them. Hang up their heads and deliver them to the Sky Mansion Alliance." A shady-looking elder indifferently glanced at these stubbornly resisting individuals from the air while he spoke in a faint voice. "Understood." A man behind the elder revealed a sinister expression as he respectfully replied. He was about to take a step forward when he discovered that his body had suddenly stilled. This man reacted quickly. He hurriedly turned his head to look at the old man with the highest status, but all he saw was that indifferent-looking elder's head fly off without a reason. Blood shot into the sky like a pillar, hanging heads and delivering them to the Sky Mansion. The current Hall of Souls appears quite bold. The space behind the headless old man slowly fluctuated under the shocked eyes of the man. A man and a woman slowly appeared. This video will end here.